Hello everyone and welcome to Formula Racing League TV. We are here for another season of Pure Sim Gear Super Sprint Sunday. My name is Gordon the Captain Brown and I will be bringing you this and the next 8 races of this championship live every Sunday night at 8 PM or 7:45 PM UK time. We are here for round 1 down under at the legendary Mount Panorama Bathurst circuit, as we're currently watching the Sky McLaren, the 720 car, fly through the mountain section of this fantastic track down into Skyline as we see the sun just coming up there. We have got 9 races this season and we are travelling all over the globe with this one. We are here obviously right now in Bathurst, then we go to Laguna Seca next, then into Misano, Suzuka, Snetterton, Watkins Glen in the United States, back to Bretton Alton Park in Zandvoort, and then we have the finale at the legendary Brickyard. Hello Daza, thanks for joining the chat. We are indeed live and kicking, definitely kicking, and I'm pretty sure you should be concentrating as well. You're currently sitting in the pit lane in the number 9 McLaren D Townsend. So yeah, we're here for another, as Nesbitt just gets on the grass on the braking zone, another full season of Super Sprint Sundays. If you're new to this, I will quickly let you know how this is going to work as we just round off the final minutes of free practice. We will have at 8 o'clock our qualifying session, 15 minutes. It will be the fastest time to sort out the grid, and then we'll have 2 sprint races. There are no mandatory pit stops this season, nothing like that, but we do have it's a 20-minute sprint race for the first race, and then a little bit later, which you will see better up here on the top right of the screen now, we see the schedule there. Free practice, qualifying, race 1 and race 2. Free practice on the Friday at 6 AM server time, followed by a 15-minute qualifying session on the Saturday at 5 AM, so just as the sun comes up. Race 1 will start at 6 with a 20-minute sprint race. Race 2 will start 1 hour later, will be a 40-minute race, so the drivers then will need to consider things like their tyre wear and fuel strategies to make sure they can last the full 40 minutes. It is a short pit lane here at Mount Panorama, but you still don't want to be losing time in the pits, changing tyres or refueling if you can. It does cost, even a drive-through here costs about 30 seconds. So they'll want to make sure they've got the setups just right so their tyres do not burn out in the later stages of race 2. So let's have a quick look through the field as we see A. Lang in the Aston Martin, the green and white Aston Martin, over a second ahead of anyone else. Mihulka in the 979 BMW a second behind, just crosses the line there, doesn't improve. Ivanov in the Lamborghini, Nesbitt in the Sky McLaren. Hello Fresh Jinx, thanks for joining us this evening. Hope we can entertain you the best that we can with some of the finest driving on the PlayStation 5 on Assetto, Corsa, Competizione. Swarovski in the 54 McLaren just cuts a little bit of the grass there, coming through the chase. Second to last corner. De Vita in the 21 maroon coloured Ferrari. Van der Waal also in the McLaren in the same livery they were running last season. Iliev in the green and red Porsche, very easy to spot, just got Nesbitt coming behind them through the mountain section. Jay Wazzer in the Ferrari, black and yellow, so much black and yellow you'll think that he was in Pittsburgh. Lee Prentice in the Porsche. We've got Mikey Mullins in the purple Ferrari, new livery for him. Mornveg, Rogers, new to the FRL admin team, Rogers as well, in the 512 Lamborghini. Dilbert, what was that there? That was two people very close to each other on track. 442. We'll come back to that in a second. Townsend, there we are, Daza T just getting past that Lamborghini. Cooters and the number 12 Ferrari. Prentice also driving for Lamborghini this season, Jay Prentice in the green machine. Stoyanov, the number 66 car, another Ferrari as well. Paul Trotman, the 246 McLaren, green and white. We'll see that one easily. FRL's very own Mr. Gedman, flying over the mountain section in his trademark yellow, blue and black livery. Then Brave just joins as well. So we're now getting the field padding out. 10 minutes, just under 10 minutes left to go. A lot of cars out on track, only a couple staying in the pit lane. So like I said, they'll just be now finalising their setup. So if this is the kind of thing that you fancy taking part in, and you have a PlayStation 5, it is very easy to take part. All you need to do is follow Formula Racing League on www.thesimgrid.com. All the information for sign-ups is there. The game itself, Assetto Corsa Competizione, is one of the games I believe you can download if you have the middle level of PlayStation Plus. It's included. So the game won't actually cost you anything. Downloaded content will set you back a little bit. It is needed for this season. If you're interested, there's also races on Tuesday evenings and Thursday late night evenings. So, and obviously on the Sunday nights at 8 o'clock British time. So again, thank you for joining us. Good evening, or good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching us from in the world. As we're just watching the final stages now. But what we'll do is I think we'll come on board with Mr. Naisbitt. Give me 2 quick seconds while we sort out the volume issue. My apologies. That should resolve that one a little bit. Yep, there we go, we're all good. So let's come on with Naisbitt. He just came through turn 1 there. It's very important to get that right, as it's a long straight uphill. And every second that you gain on the exit of turn 1 will really benefit you down here into a tight right-hander that opens up. Brake just at the curb on the left-hand side. Really want to get this turned in, as the camera will roll you through the corner. Get on the power early, as Naisbitt does there. The little kink on the right hand side, turn in and then hit the brakes just past the apex for the Audi hairpin. Into second, up through the gears, and if he gets this right, he will be flat out through this mountain section. Right, left, hold it, do not go take the first apex, it's a trap. Come over and take the second apex, all the way out to the wall. Some time left on the table there for Naisbitt as he lifts off. It is a long distance run. And then down through Skyline, look at the beautiful sunset in the distance as Naisbitt comes down the gears through the progressively tightening S's. Very close to the Shannon's wall on the left. Hard kink right, lift off to balance the car and down through the brakes into the Bentley elbow. Gets on the power early for the long downhill back straight, and this is where that McLaren will really come into its own. Up through the gears, up into 6th gear now, and he's just over the crest. Bring it over to the left hand side and swing it in for the flatter right hander. Pick your braking point and try and get a reference, because those brake markers might not make the whole race. Gets it turned in, hits the apex nicely. Drifts out to the left hand side under the Liqui-Moly barrier. Spots the braking point about 80 metres from the final corner. Turns it in, avoid the inside curb. It will launch you into the wall on the right and across the line. Does not improve this time around, but that is a lap of the Mount Panorama circuit, and it is a very, very challenging lap. Jay Prentice, new to the Lamborghini. Just over 4 minutes left. I think that is going to be kind of this race, finalising the race setups now. As we watch Prentice come up that first straight in between turns 1 and 2 in the Green Machine Lamborghini. As he gets used to the new car, of course driving the Aston Martin last season. Such a very tricky couple of corners, and you look at it like that, it doesn't look that difficult, but from the cockpit, this section is brutal. You see he's just a little bit on the grass there, that's going to dirty the tyres. Does he keep it within the lines, so close to the wall? A lot closer than we've seen Naisbitt do. And just gets on the grass, needs to be very careful. Now through Skyline, and you see just how treacherous it is. You can see the helicam there. Rogers now coming through the same section, doesn't quite go all the way out to the right hand side on entrance. Look at that view down the hill. You do not want to be hitting the wall here. Okay, so he takes that apex. It's a different lines for different drivers. Up on the curb on the inside, you need to be careful with that one. Doesn't use all the track there. Look how steep the drop is. You don't really see that from the other camera angles. Another challenge, of course, as Rogers seems to have that down. Flies into the Bentley elbow. Couple of cars up in front, shouldn't cause too much issues. Gets so close to the wall, scraping the paintwork. Now down the straight, we've got a couple of seconds left. Who is still on track? Ivanov, I think, could still improve, but Lang has such an advantage on the field. The only Aston Martin driving. Everyone now just finishing off their final preparations. Rogers into the final corner, does brake quite late, coasts round the corner. A little bit of oversteer on exit, and across the line. Who else do we have out there? Oh, that's a car upside down! Who was that? Cuter's upside down over the mountain. We just caught the end of that as the games tow trucked them back to the pit lane. Now that's quite disappointing. I wish we could have seen that. Morvig in the 442 McLaren had a great season last season. Really shown that he'd earned his position in the pro tier. There was of course a concurrent AM class tier running at the same time. Unfortunately couldn't secure a commentator as the Aston Martin of Lang pulls over to the inside as Morvig pushes just a little bit too much, and that's the end of their lap as well. Townsend is just coming into that section. And look on board, look how tight it is through this section. Morvig's got an onboard cam, it looks like. There we go. Sorry, this is Townsend. Townsend's got the onboard cam. Look at the understeer into the Bentley elbow. Can't quite get it slowed down. That does seem to be the weakness of the McLaren. It is braking power. Got a car in behind there as well as that. That's a purple Ferrari. Not too sure who that is. Gedman's still out there as well. Coming to set his first lap. His first valid lap. And the number 79 Porsche crosses the line and goes into P19. It's Morgan Grace. Morgan Grace, very quick driver, of course, on his day. So let's have a quick look there. Nope. Turn that back to the garage. We've got Naisbitt already out, as we see. 5 AM for qualifying. Very dark. Naisbitt's flashing the lights. warming the car up, and this is officially kicking off the competitive season 11 of Formula Racing League. So we're officially underway now. All rules are now in place. We've got McLarens out on track, very popular car. It may be worth just quickly going through who we think the contenders of this season are. So Lang, as we've seen, the pace they have shown already, it's got to put them up there. Miluka looks very quick as well for today. Prentice, El Prentice, the 43 Porsche has been very quick the last couple of seasons. Trotman also very quick, as is Grace. So that is the field today. We have a field of 23 drivers who will be competing. As we see them all coming out with a yellow flag out, they were ready. I think that was car 71. Car 71, Van der Waal, possibly in the wall. Just missed that one. Of course, this is only the outlaps. You do have the facility to teleport back to the pit lane in this game, so that is something that some of the drivers will do if they're in the wall. It doesn't let you do that in the race. If you do that in the race, you will be made to sat in the pits for around about 3 minutes. And it's very difficult just to see the cars in this light. So we'll try and keep you updated the best we can with the driver tracker on the list of drivers on the left and the driver tracker on the right hand side. As Naismith here in the bottom right, car 242 has just started their lap. If the car number is blue, that lap is not valid on the bottom right of the screen there. If the car, so 551 coming around is blue, so that's an outlap. Or if the lap is invalidated for track limits, it'll turn blue as well. Grey means they are on a hot lap, and if it's white or yellow, white means a slow moving car. Yellow flag for car 66. Stoyanov into the pit lane, so we just see it there, yellow flag now. So they had an incident, that's how we can see. So what we're going to do now is, I think, where is Gedman? Of course, you're not allowed to overtake now in qualifying, so that's something we're now aware of, to make sure everyone gets the qualifying laps in. So we'll come on board with Gedman for our track guide. Hopefully he gets round the track. There are too many issues. A bit of understeer through turn 1 and kicks out the rear on the exit of turn 1. That will impact his speed all the way up this hill. There he is, over the crest, brings it over to the left hand side, and just at that little entrance road gets it turned in, and he just doesn't get quite on the apex, so the car drifts out left too early, turns it in, and on the brakes. He does hug that apex like it's his favourite granny. That means he'll get on the power very early. A little bit of a confidence lift through there. We're seeing some of the McLarens going flat through that section. Over the crest again in the middle of the road. That's going to cause him to run wide and off track. So he'll stay out, obviously get the practice in through Skyline. The back end looks very lively in this Porsche, it has to be said. As he gets through Skyline now, it's very tricky right-hander before the downhill braking zone. Off the Bentley elbow, look at the understeer, just keeps it out of the wall. Oh, don't think he was paying too much attention there. Cuts over the grass, a little bit of lawn mowing. And he's got a car now behind him, that looks like a yellow Ferrari, uses a little bit of track on the left. As we do have the first set of lap times coming in now, but that leaderboard is going to tumble as the session goes. We will keep our eyes on that. As Gedman approaches the final corner, of course this will be invalidated because he did run wide. But that's a nice line through the final turn as he goes to start his next qualifying lap. So let's have a look. Adam Lang out there with a 2:03.1 on this fast track. Where has he gone? The camera. Oh, he's hit the wall. What's going on there? Maybe a little bit of... Uh-oh. That doesn't look good for the server. He's lagging about. Hopefully it's not the server and it is just his connection. And hopefully he can resolve that as he's flying through there. This is quite comical, it must be said. I really hope that the server is okay. Anyone else having issues? No one yet. It looks like just lying. So that's not good for him because he has looked like one of the fastest drivers we've had on track. And if he's got some issues with his connection, that could then impact obviously his race. Iliev is currently in P2 and coming through the second to last corner, this chicane. Looks fairly clean through there. Hard on the brakes now for the final corner. Gets it turned in and onto the curb. Uses all of the available track but does not improve this time around. Miluka in the Liquimoli BMW. Again, showed great pace earlier on but does not improve again. So who else have we got? This Swarovski just starting a lap. Looks like they've maybe got a little bit of traffic. Warming the tyres up. And feels the need to get the tyres up to temperature. De Vita coming through Skyline. Using all of the available track and a little bit more. Great confidence being shown. Through Shannon, through a tight, tricky right-hander we mentioned at the top of the show. And not an ounce of understeer from that Ferrari. The 21 looks very poised through the elbow. Down the long straight. This is of course one of the, if not the longest track of the season, rivaled only by possibly Spa. The lap times take over 2 minutes and it is only a 15-minute qualifying session, minimising the chances that they'll get. That of course means they'll have to be more precise. But De Vita now looking to get themselves on the board. Through the final corner, a little bit left to spare, but goes up into P6. That's a great lap time from De Vita. Another driver there, Gabriel, I think just went through. Nope, we didn't get them. All drivers now on track. Well, Seat is lying still, got some issues. Naisbitt's went pole. Naisbitt is provisionally on pole position in the Sky McLaren. As we come on board. And he's got a car in front of them. Yellow flag out there, car number 9. Naisbitt's a little bit oversped there. There's Townsend. Townsend's back in the pits. Yellow flag, the car 79 as well. So who's yet to get a time on the board? Van der Waal still out there. Prentice, Swarovski, Stoyanov gets himself on the board now too. Safarowski, Trotman and Alex still to get some times on the board. It's very close at the top as Grace, Morgan Grace in the 14 Ferrari has just put in a blinder, a 2:03.0. Naisbitt and Lang within 1/10, so top 3 within a 10th. That's incredibly close. Ivanov in 4th, 1 further 10th behind, and Wazzer just under 3/10 behind the top 5. So that's a very close grid, and the top 13 separated within 1 second as Mornveg back in the pits as well. This of course is a popular time to get yourself back in the pit lane, throw on a fresh set of rubber boots and get it back out there for the maximum grip, maximum attack for the final 5 minutes of this first qualifying session. Yellow flags out there, turn 1, car 34, Van der Brave went straight on at turn 1. As Mullins comes down the back straight now. That Ferrari is one of the quicker cars in a straight line, but see how he gets the braking point down into the final 5 minutes of the first qualifying session of season 11 in Formula Racing League. Under the Liquimoli, can Mullins hook up the final corner to improve from P11? He does improve, goes into P5. What a lap from Mullins. Under 2/10. He'll be thrilled with his time, disappointed with the position. To think he'll be less than 2/10 behind, it only got him into 5th place. Trotman yet to set a lap time in that McLaren. Sorry, wrong one. Sorry guys, just trying to fix the sound setting there. There we go. So we're watching Paul Trotman yet to set a lap time. Coming through Skyline a little bit out of control. Gets it slowed down just enough. He's hit the wall. Oh no, into the Bentley elbow. Hopefully no one else impacted by that situation. Trotman has got one final chance to get out of there if he can get that car out of there as quick as possible. Paul Alex, I think this is Paul Alex, but in the pink Ferrari anyway. Alex still out there, looking to get himself on the board too. Into the chase. Can he spot the braking? He does this time. Hits that curb on the inside. That can unsettle the car. It doesn't look like Trotman's going to go for one last shot. He's still in the pit lane, so he will be starting no higher than 23rd. Can Alex put him on the back of the grid as he crosses the line? Not a valid lap. Not a valid lap, and that looks like Mullins is just in behind. Went provisionally on pole, so that is now 4 drivers within 1/10 of a second. We're getting towards the end of qualifying, so I'm going to keep an eye on the cars as they finish their laps. As we've got Iliev in the 777 Porsche, does not improve. Yellow flags for car number 34, that is Van der Brave, is in the wall. We just caught the end of that there. Car number 9, that's Townsend. Townsend in the number 9 McLaren. And I do like how you can see the stripes on the side of that McLaren there as it comes under the Liquimoli sign. Spots his braking. And a bit of oversteer on exit. Crosses the line and doesn't improve. He'll have one more chance. Car number 69, Dalabriel, followed by 242. That is Naisbitt. So see if Naisbitt's had a bit of a toe down the back straight as he now crosses the line. Can he go pole? He does! He's went pole at 202.8. Car number 44 in behind does not improve. That's Ivanov. The 43 car now. And I've lost them all because the times are now tumbling. That's El Prentice in the Porsche, who's done fantastic, and I'm having difficulty keeping up. Volton in 11th just now. Doesn't look like, he looks like he's given up on that lap time. Car 979, that's Mihaluka, who has looked very quick so far. Prentice in behind, we'll keep an eye on that time, and Alex still to set a lap. So he comes across the line now and does improve up to 7th. And Jay Prentice up one position to 13th. Car 111. Paul Alex gets on the board into 21st position. The Vita, that's not the Vita. We've picked car 21. We want car 12. Car 512. I've lost car 512 as well. Oh dear. Rogers, that's Rogers across the line. Doesn't improve. We also have yellow flag, car 43 in the wall. That's qualifying out, the checkered flag. Now flying, Van der Waal coming to the final corner now for his last attempt to move up the leaderboard. crosses the line and moves up a couple of positions into P16. Car number 34 is written invalid. Car 979 in the wall over the mountain. Car 9's pulled over. That's Townsend. Townsend pulled over too. Car 69 also giving up on their lap. Ivanov still pushing to the very end. Lang's went pole again. Lang's went back provisionally pole and still out there. Can anyone match that 2:02.4? Ivanov gets close. 2:02.7, can't quite make it work, but Lang is still out there looking to improve. He's got some horrendous lag issues, it looks like. Doesn't improve, but at least on his screen he can make his car go faster around here than anyone else so far. Jay Prentice in the Lamborghini comes through the second to last corner. We've got car 111 Alex behind, and then the 512 of Rogers, but Prentice has given up, as we can see. Needs to be careful, doesn't impede Paul Alex coming through there. Gets the car slowed down in time. Can he move up from 21st? Not this time around, and he's taking the checkered flag. Next one around is Stu Rogers. Currently 2 seconds down. It's a great time. It's just the competition uses all of the available track and crosses the line. Did he improve? He did. He moved up to 15th. Rogers finds some time on his last effort and gets himself up into 15th. So what a qualifying session there, as we see Rogers just pull over. So let's quickly run through the quick grid. We've got Lang in first, Ivanov second, Naisbitt in third place. It was very close until Lang pulled out an absolute blinder of a lap time. Look at fastest sector over the mountain by nearly half a second over second place. Mullinks in fourth, great lap from Mullinks. Grace fifth, DeVita sixth, Safarowski seventh, Maluka eighth, Prentice, L Prentice ninth, Jay Wazzer in 10th, Volton 11th, Iliev 12th, Prentice, Jay Prentice in 13th, Dialbrill in 14th, Rogers improving at the end as we've seen there in 15th, Mornveg 16th, Van der Waal, Cuters, Townsend, then Brave, Alex off the board at the end there, off zero, up into 21st. FRL's Gedman in 22nd, Stoyanov 23rd, and Trotman did not set a time and will start at the back. So I think we've now been joined by FRL's other own, Dan Naisbitt, who is driving the Sky McLaren.
Good evening.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. First session of the season. How do you think? I mean, I thought you had pole position. How did it go for yourself?
I think I had it 3 or 4 times, mate. Obviously, me and Michael were trading a few times, and then I knew as soon as TK Drifter put a lap in, it would be game over.
Yep, that was Lang. We've seen him have quite a lot of latency issues. Quite a lot of lag when he was driving, so we'll see how that impacts him in the race. But at least on his screen, he made his car go the fastest.
It does make sense, because on a green track he did a 2:01.6,
which is ridiculous.
Which is mental. In the Aston without the updated BOP as well.
Yep, that is correct. How do you see this first lap going? Where are the danger points? Where's the flash points?
Turn one's always interesting. I'd rather be on the inside, but the outside, you get a nice run for second corner.
Yep.
That first hairpin as well. If you get 2 cars challenging for a position first lap into that first hairpin, I think it's the cutting. I think that can be sketch.
Audi
yes.
by barriers, yeah.
And then leads to a decent blockage if we get contact there. So hopefully we get a nice, clean, steady start away, mate.
Yep, so hopefully some sensible driving through turn 1. I know from my experience, the Bentley elbow is awful on the first lap. Hopefully the same thing can happen and we can get a build up there as well. So hopefully some
everyone has very
sensible
different
heads.
braking points into there.
Yeah, a lot of people left before the kink beforehand.
Yes.
Some people turn in early, some people take the middle of the track. So hopefully there's common sense shown and we get through.
We still only have a fast track as well.
Only a fast track. So that should come to you think, with the temperature?
At some point, I would think, yeah.
Hopefully. Okay, I'll let you get ready. You've got 2 minutes left to make sure you get your setup all set.
Thank you, mate.
The fuel levels and stuff. Thanks for joining us. And if you do have time, hopefully speak to you at the end of the race as well.
Yeah, I'll pop back in the end, mate, don't worry.
Thanks, good luck.
Awesome, see you, dude.
Cheers. So that was Dan Naisbitt in the 720 McLaren, starting P3. We'll follow them throughout the race. And it is worth using this quick 1 minute 45 seconds we have left before the formation lap starts to put a big shout out to the FRL team. They put a lot of work in off their own time. They do it free of charge. They don't take a wage or anything like that. That's Dan Naisbitt, Chris Gedman, and the newest member of the PlayStation team, Stu Rogers, all put in a lot of their own time to make all of this possible. Like I said, we've got 2 other series running alongside Pure Sim Gear Super Sprint Sunday. We've got Taco Tuesdays, which start this week on Tuesday, and we have the Late Night Thursdays, which is in one make series this season, all in the GT4 Ginetta. They all use the same tracks, so we'll be coming to Mount Panorama Circuit another 2 times before the week is through. If you are interested in taking part, like I said, if you go on to www.thesimgrid.com and have a look and follow Formula Racing League for all the information on how to join. They're also available on this YouTube channel. They do have a Twitch channel, and you can also join their Discord for further information as well if you have any questions. For all the drivers who are racing tonight and who will be inevitably watching the stream back, do keep in mind, like I said, this is all done of volunteer work, and it doesn't take a lot for yourself. I mean, it's only a couple of pounds. I think the lowest member they have on Patreon is £3, and you get a couple of member benefits for that as well. You get your own logo, that kind of thing. Possibly get your stream advertised too, your own stream. It is only £3. That is cheaper than the price of a Starbucks coffee. So that, at the end of the day, if you're getting yourself a Starbucks, one day of the week, just forgo that, have your instant coffee in the morning, and you can support these guys and help them do things like rent private servers to make sure that these races continue to be free to enter. So now we've got that stuff out of the way, let's concentrate on the race as we watch Lang lead them away up the hill for the start of Formula Racing League Season 11. So all the setup work has now been done. We can see it is dusk. The cars look much nicer in this light, and we can see all the hard work, all the liveries that are now on track. We've got Mullins and Grace donned in purple. They're representing the T1 SR cars. Dan Naisbitt, of course, deciding to be selfish and use his Sky livery instead. Sure you won't mind me saying that. Luke Prentice in P9. We need to keep an eye on them. They have fantastic pace in the pro tier this season. All these drivers, a lot of them I do recognise racing last season. Some in AM class, some in the pro class. But I think everyone here so far has deserved their position. And they're all... And Gedman. What's going on with Mr. Gedman? He's back in the pit lane. Potentially an issue there on the formation lap. So Gedman will take the start from the pit lane, giving a position to Mr. Trotman at the back. Lang does still seem to have those latency issues. We can see the car kind of drifting left and right. Hopefully it doesn't cause too much of an issue for the 511 Aston Martin. Ivanov, the cameraman, having an absolute nightmare trying to locate Ivanov there. But catches him now. On board. This is the view Ivanov's going to have through turn 1. Sorry, through the first lap, staring at the back of Lang, and he'll obviously be hoping that it is Lang staring at the back of his Lamborghini. Naismith in P3 seemed confident in the interview. He does love this place. Very familiar with the track. Mullins as well, done a fantastic lap in quali. Just having a little look now. The formation, like this is the drivers doing desperately, weaving left and right, trying to get temperature in their tyres, get the tyres up to the correct operating temperature. It is dusk, but it is 18 degrees centigrade, so there's definitely temperature to be found. And of course, the confidence that brings you as you go over the top section, the mountain section of this track. You do need that confidence, and that the car will stick as you turn it in, because if it doesn't, you will be in the wall. So we need to watch out for turn 4. That's just at the end of the first sector. Potential for issues there. And at the end of the second sector, the sharp left-hander, the elbow. Potential issues there as well. So we see Lang backing the pack up now as we prepare for season 11. That's 11. We've passed Roman numerals of season X. We're now in season 11 for Pure Sim Gear Formula Racing League Super Sprint Sundays. Race 1 is about to begin as we enter the final corner. Lang is on the right hand side in the Aston Martin. Ivanov on the left. Behind there we've got Naismith and Mullins and Grayson DeVita in row 3. But here we go as we await the green flag. And we are green. We are racing as a drive-through penalty already, but Naismith's got a fantastic start. Thinks better off it. Doesn't drive down the outside. Lang has got a way shot out of turn 1. Everyone else seems to have got through reasonably well. Gedman's still in the pit lane. We don't know if they'll be taking the start. But Lang is gone. Naismith's all over the back of Ivanov with Mullins thinking about it too. Interested, but nothing doing this time around. Lang is absolutely flying out of the first lap. It looks very close. We'll need to make sure they all get around here reasonably well. No major incidents on turn 1. That's good to see. As they all come around the cutting, I believe it's called, and they get through reasonably well. The front guys still battling it out as they get very close to that wall. It's so dangerous, of course, in this section. So easy to put a wheel wrong and end up in the wall. Lang putting an upside in the wall. No, I can't tell. That's the lag again, making it look much worse than it is, as they all seem to be coming out of the S's. Rogers a little bit of under pressure, but everyone very sensible. Can they get through? It looks like it's went through okay. Everyone coming through the first lap reasonably well. Stoyanov maybe carrying some damage back there. Ivanov under severe pressure from Naismith. We've got some other close cars. Naismith thinks about down the inside, but Ivanov's ran over the grass. And he's going to rejoin in a little bit out of control, but he's lost second place, and that's allowed Ivanov, Mullins and Grace all to go through. DeVita thinks about it. They've got a car in the pit lane overshooting the mark. Who is that? Hard to keep track. We'll try and keep touch of who that is. A lot of moves going on there. There's Mornvegen in the pits, it looks like. Gedman has not taken the start. And Lang's now got a 2-second gap. Naismith in second, Mullins up into P3, Grace fourth. What a first lap. Some great driving. This car, 52, clears their drive-through. We've got some cars so close to each other. As Rogers been overtaken into turn 2 by Iliev. Prentice falling down the order. Swarovski. It was Swarovski in the pit lane, sorry, not Prentice. Ivanov has recovered into 5th. And there's so much action through this field, it's going to take such a hard task to keep on top of it. So if you do know anything in the chat, please give a little comment. We'll give you a shout out and it'll keep us informed as well, as Rogers got very close to the wall that time around. Look at the traffic back here. As Den Brave under severe pressure, as is Van der Waal, as is Rogers. And this is not a part of the track that's known for overtaking. As we look back there from Rogers, it looked like he scraped that barrier, not leaving a single millimetre on the track. And that McLaren's going to get such a slipstream from the Lamborghini. Van der Waal is looking very interested. Does Rogers go defensive? He doesn't. He takes the racing line. Van der Waal thinks about it. Nothing doing this time around. And it's a great start from Rogers. Up into P14. We've got a slow moving car at the back. That's car 44. Ivanov's had an absolute nightmare start from P2 down into P19 now, down to 19th. So up top we've got Lang in first, who set a fastest lap. Naismith 4.5 seconds behind, and behind them we've got Mullings in third in the final podium spot. Grace in fourth. De Vita just holding on to this pack, with Prentice tucked in, with Meluka in 7th, Volton in 8th, Wazzer 9th, Prentice, Jay Prentice, both brothers in the top 10. Iliev in 11th has been put under pressure by Dybril, and if anyone wants to come and correct my pronunciation, I of course would welcome that with open arms. Let's see if we can get any more information on what's going on so far with Mr. Gedman. No further information. We've got a car in the wall. That looks like De Vita potentially in the wall. It is. Had a massive accident coming out of Forest Elbow. And he's just off track. Hopefully not too much issues, but he has teleported back to the pit lane. That might be race 1 over for them. We'll see if Ivanov can get through the chase this time around. Still a little bit wide, but makes it through this time. Ivanov obviously has the pace. We'll see if they can cut their way back through the field behind Trotman, who gets very high on that inside curb, and the pink Ferrari in front, Alex, also high on that curb. Grace all over the back of Mullings. It's allowed Naismith to pull out a little bit of a gap up front. That's a great camera shot there. See just how close the cars get to the wall. Oh, look how close they are now. Grace all over the back of Mullings. Ferrari versus Ferrari. And the car's bouncing over the mountain section. Grace, it must be said, looks like they're in a lot more control of this situation. It looks like Mullings is pushing like crazy. Doesn't look like anything doing this time around. But we're coming into one of the tricky corners, this Bentley banked corner here. It's all about who gets the best exit, and we'll see now the difference a slipstream makes. It's the same car, Ferrari versus Ferrari. A little bit further behind them actually. Grace has fallen behind. Good exit by Mullins. Paul Alex now defending from Ivanov. And you can see the slipstream effect, and there's contact, a slight nudge. It's a dangerous move, and there's contact on the braking, and Ivanov's went straight on again. Ivanov not had the best time through that section. We've got 3 abreast. Coming through there is Den Brave, is defending from Paul Trotman. And a little up and under there from Trotman, thinks about the switchback. Looks up the inside, nothing doing this time around. Will look to concentrate on their exit up the hill and show that McLaren power up through the gears. Nothing doing this time around, just behind Mornvig, also defending from Ivanov, who's been through the wars this evening. Swarovski as well, under pressure, battles all through the field. Stoyanov really driving that one home. So let's have a rundown, let's see what's going on. Adam Lyon is checked out in front, out for a Sunday drive through the mountains off Australia. Dan Naisbitt in behind, controlled his pace off the start in P2. Mullins has settled into third with Grace in behind. Luke Prentice doing a fantastic job in that Porsche with Miluka in the Liquimoli BMW in 6th. Volton in 7th. Jay Wazzer just a second behind there in 8th, with Jack Prentice in 9th. As we hit the halfway point, 10 minutes to go. Iliev 10th, Dybrel in 11th, Van der Waal under pressure from Couters now in 12th. Rogers in 13th, kind of on the road at the moment, a little bit of a respite for them. Alex in 4th, then Brave under pressure. This is the battle here. 3 cars as Trotman goes deep into the corner, runs over the grass. A little bit of grass cutting going on, and that will release the pressure, at least for the time going, for them Brave. Ivanov picks up a position there, as well as Swarovski now thinks about a move out past Trotman. Townsend doing a great job to stick onto the back of this lot as well. Stoyanov, and we've got German's joint. He is 2 laps down, but he has joint, and he will pick up his championship points as long as he finishes. De Vita has rejoined as well, but having a nightmare through Skyline, it looks like, also. That's good to see. I'm really happy to see De Vita actually continuing driving. That's one of the things we're obviously looking for at Formula Racing League, is drivers who can finish races, and he will be rewarded, for, like I said, with his championship points. So Naisbitt a little close to the inside wall there, and it looks like Mullins just slowly reeling the Sky McLaren in. Has Naisbitt hit the wall? There's too much damage on that car. We jump onto the bumper of Mullins. The McLaren is of course known for having fantastic top end speed, so we won't see that Ferrari close up so quickly. However, if you look behind, Grace also matching Mullins for the final podium spot. They've pulled out a little bit from Prentice now. Miluka's got a little bit of a gap going too. So we look down the field. Ivanov was having a bit of a fun time early on. Back up to 17th now, so showing good pace. in the Lamborghini. And makes a lot up on the brakes compared to Van Brave. So they come on board of Ivanov. Well, see, this is what they see when they're actually driving. This is their view. We see the slipstream catching. It's like a vacuum, it just sucks you into the back of the car and then on the brakes. It's a good move, but they've compromised. And actually, there's contact! Ivanov again in the wars, hold your brakes. Make sure. Oh no! Who was that? That looked like Townsend, maybe. Mornveg. Oh dear. So I'm going to quickly just jump back to the front here because it looks like Mullins is in the wall. Mullins has hit the wall and has now ported himself back to the pit lane, and that's given the final podium spot to Grace. I don't know what happened there, we just missed it. We caught the yellow flags and we've got some more action behind here. That Liquimolly BMW of Miluka under severe pressure from Volton takes to the inside for the fast king, and this is into the chase. And nothing doing this time around, but Miluka holding on to fifth for dear life. The pressure not being released at all by Volton or Wazzer. Jay Wazzer done a fantastic job as well. Come a little further back, it looks like Jay Prentice is under severe pressure, and Naisbitt's under pressure again. But they come alongside. Moggs has got the inside and there's almost contact, and they just leave each other enough room to get through turn 2. Morgan's flashing his lights there, not happy with Naisbitt's defence off turn 2. What a race this is turning out to be. But the pressure now Naisbitt will be feeling with that Ferrari at the back. Right up his tailpipe. You can almost read the writing on the back sponsors of that car. We're on board there, on board with Grace. And we can just see, we'll see it here. Potentially the slipstream. Oh, that was a little bit of lag there again. You see again, it's like that vacuum, it just pulls you into the back off the car in front. And Grace thinks better off it, a little bit of a lift. Oh, and Naisbitt takes the inside line and takes a lot of curb. A lot of curb taken. Look how close they are now, almost bumper to bumper. Another inside line by Naisbitt. He'll have the corner here, but they're very close, and there's slight contact. Door-to-door contact. So hard to tell exactly what's going on there. But these two are making it so exciting to watch. They come a little bit further behind now as you see Miluka has a bad exit. A little bit wide there, but it's not enough. Diabrell again, not able to pull in Jay Prentice either, but these guys are very close, and there's contact there, the yellow for... Oh no! There's contact there, and it has to be said, the 54 Ferrari was very aggressive. That one might end up in the steward's room. So it looks like now that Grace is under pressure from Luke Prentice. Prentice now applying the pressure. Has there been damage to Grace's car where he's lost some downforce potentially? That'll be impacting his speed and his grip, sorry, in the high speed corners. I mean, it's safe to say Lang is checked out in front. Fantastic drive from them so far. Fastest lap of the race so far as Prentice gets a little bit wide coming through Forest Elbow. Miluka is now looking under pressure from Volton behind in that yellow Ferrari. You see them coming through the straight now. Up to speeds of around about 170, 175 miles per hour as Lang starts the final lap of Race 1, Season 11 here at Mount Panorama, hosted by Formula Racing League, sponsored by Pure Sim Gear. Look how close it is. This is still at all. We've got a slow moving car further back. And we've got contact there. That's Iliev, and I think that was Rogers. Contact between two cars, and he's taken at the brake markers and nearly rejoins. It's so close, so dangerous there. He makes it into the pit lane. Iliev does. Nearly misses the corner. His steering column is completely ruined. Rogers also joining him in the pit lane. Hopefully they can get out, and Rogers crashes. Oh no, it all went wrong. As Grace puts on a final charge for that second place. I think he'll be disappointed with third, but one person who will be very disappointed is Mullins, who's now 2 laps down behind Mr. Gedman. Stoylov has continued to lap as well. Rogers now coming through the pit lane. Hate to see the race ending like that, but controversy surrounding all 3 of the league admins in race 1. Door banging from Naisbitt. Mullins in the wall, and sorry, Gedman chose to take a little snack in the pit lane. Oh, it's close up here as well. Dalubray, Alex Swarovski and Trotman, I think, all close to each other now. Got a lapped car in there as well, I think. Alex down the inside of the elbow. What a move that is from Alex. Unfortunately, because of the action going on, we've missed Lang take a commanding victory. My apologies to Adam Lang. What a race from him. Fastest lap, pole position and race 1 win. And that behind is Prentice on down the inside of Grace to take third. Great podium there, and they've all came through so quickly. Oh dear, I'll catch up with the race in a second in the positions. Carnage unfolding on the final lap. Look at this. What's going on here? Dalberg, Mornveg, I think that is in behind. Swarovski's now in front of this lot. And that is the lapped Mullins. And is that Volt? No. I've lost track. I'm going to have to go for a snack or a drink or something. But Gedman coming round now to the last couple of laps, and as you can see there on the front of the car, the drivers can have your initials displayed on the screen, and Gedman has chosen to have his personality instead. And a crash there at the end for fun, highlighting his personality. De Vita and Mornveg will be the last 2 to finish. And like I said earlier, at the top of the race there, it's great to see drivers who are involved in incidents getting in the pit lane and getting back out as Mornveg decides to go cut some grass, play in the sand for the end of race 1. But De Vita, again, early accident in the pits, back out on the track, get round, get their championship points. Stu Rogers, oh man, so annoyed. Yeah, I can understand your frustration watching that back. It looked like a big accident to be involved in. It's not what you like to see. It does happen, unfortunately. So let's have a quick rundown of that final class, well, let's say provisional classification pending stewards' inquiries. Adam Lang, I'm sure, will not be present to any of them, as he was no one near him the entire race. 18 seconds ahead. Dan Naisbitt, can't have the same thing said about them. A lot of action involved, potential some door banging. Prentice comes out of nowhere on the final corner to take P3. Grace in fourth will be very disappointed with that finishing position, but fourth place is still a fourth place and will rack up the championship points. Miluka in fifth. Volton in sixth, and Jay Wazzer up into seventh. And there we go. There's confirmation. Wazzer seventh. Prentice 8th, Cuters 9th, Van der Wal rounds up the top 10. Alex, who was struggling to set a time in qualifying, ends up 11th. Safarowski in 12th, Dybrale in 13th, Paul Trotman in the 246 in 14th, and then Brave finishes 15th. Townsend comes on in 16th, with Stoyanov in 17th. Iliev will finish 18th, Rogers 19th after their incident, Gedman in 20th, Mullins 21st, De Vita 22nd, Mornveg 23rd, and Ivanov in 24th. So 20-minute race, 10 laps. Which implies the next race will be 20 laps long, but we'll see how it goes. The pace will be a little bit slower, as the drivers will need to make the tyres last a bit longer. So there's some highlights there, actually, of the contact between Grace and Naisbitt. Just here to see the highlights. There we go. Actually, I think we have a couple of minutes, actually, so I think what I'm going to do is jump back to that replay and see what we can pick up at the end, because it was absolute chaos at the end. You see there, a little bit of contact. Yellow flags are up ahead as well. I'm going to bring up that up there. Lost the names as well now, so what I wanted to see was at the end, we had Prentice making a move as well. Let's get us towards the end. So up ahead, Grace fell off. Wonder what happened there. See if we can catch what happened. Was he in the wall? Comes up through, start of the mountain section. Possibly in the wall here. Oh! A bit of a lag spike. We're not going to see that now. I do apologise for all the viewers. We're not going to get to see how that one went. But race 2, the drivers will take up the same qualifying positions as they did in race 1. So Ivanov is going to have another chance. To make up for the first lap last time around. We'll see if they've got the pace to live with Lang, because I don't think anyone else just now, on this track at least, has the same pace. It is now a bit warmer, of course, a bit later in the morning. Sun is going to be an issue for these drivers as it gets in their eyes, but the temperature increase will absolutely suit the tyres. Mullins again will be looking for another chance. They looked like they had the pace to be on the podium as well, but looking further behind, Grace, De Vita, Safarowski, Miluka, Prentice, Loza Volton all looked like they had pace to be up there as well. This one is a bit longer, this race. We've got 40 minutes. So we'll hopefully see a bit more action, a bit more decorum into the first couple of corners. So I'm going to take this time just now, again, just to go over Formula Racing League and what they do. So if this is the kind of thing that you think you'd be interested in taking part, you do not need a steering wheel. We do have some drivers who take part using the controller. You have, there's multiple options to play the game, but essentially you can buy the game outright, but it is one of the games available to download as part of the PlayStation Plus package. This is the middle option, the mid-range package. The downloaded content will set you back some money, but it is a small price to pay for the hours of entertainment you get from taking part, and it's such a rewarding experience. Formula Racing League runs league races on PlayStation 5 3 nights a week. Sundays, tonight, from 7:45. We have Tackle Tuesday, which is also in its 11th season, starting this week on Tuesday. And we have Late Night Thursday, which will be an all Ginetta GT4 race. On Thursday nights, that's a late night race, starts at 10:30 UK time. You can take part by visiting thesimgrid.com and following Formula Racing League. All the information on how to sign up is there. It is free to sign up, and you'll get yourself involved with drivers who are of a similar ability. There are systems in place. There is also an AM class tier running this concurrently with this event, with beginner and rookie drivers as well. So you'll definitely find yourself a dance partner as we see Lang start off the formation lap for race 2. A lot less weaving going on, as you can see. Temperatures nice and higher this time. If you are taking part tonight and re-watching this stream, which I'm sure a lot of us do, I know myself, when I race, I will watch a stream back if there is one, to see what's happened. It is worth noting for the drivers taking part that like I said, the admin team do a lot of their spare time taking part, organising all this, and the servers are not free to rent, so anything you can spare to help on Patreon will help these guys continue making free entry, and you do get some benefits along with that, such as a customised logo to use in Discord, and some of the higher benefit levels involve things like sharing your own stream and that kind of thing to help catapult yourself obviously into the sim racing world, this vast world, this fantastic hobby that everyone here has. So get yourself into that. All the details can be found on the Formula Racing League Discord as well. So we have 40 minutes of racing this time around. We have got, it's about 20 laps around this fantastic circuit. Tyre temperature just coming up. Track temperature now 20 degrees. There was only 16 in race 1. So we'll see which drivers have been able to tweak their setup between the races. The best. But one must be said, unless Ivanov or Naismith's put a rocket in their car, they may have some difficulty keeping up with Lang this evening, who has been incredible so far. If it's going to happen, it's going to be turn 1, that's where it's going to have to happen. Grace will be disappointed with that move that Prentice put on them in the closing stages of that race, round the final corner. Unexpected. showed good awareness from Prentice there. There's one of our controller players as well. So you can see you can still be competitive without spending hundreds on equipment. Jay Prentice, of course, in the Green Machine. They are brothers. Racing as well. Different cars, of course. Never seen them in the same car. Roger's one of the admins here at FRL. Put in a great race in the race one. Had a bit of an issue with an accident towards the end. Looking to improve on that one. Van der Waal, as the pace has picked up a little bit there through the chase. Gedman's taking the start this time around. Good to see as we see the final cars coming around there. But we're going to just jump to the front again to see what the leaders can do this time around. Look at that field there. That's fantastic. Screenshot that one there. So again, as we watch them come around the final corner, we wait for the green flag for race 2. Pure Sim Gear Super Sprint Sunday is green. We are away for race 2, and look at the stuff from Ivanov challenging down the outside. Lang late on the brakes, and it's very close. Naisbitt nearly gets wiped out as well. What an exit from Naisbitt, a bit of contact further behind. Everyone 3 abreast, 5 abreast, and there's a big crash. That's Iliev. A big accident there at the back of the grid. We'll come back and try and pick up what's happened there. As Ivanov defends from Naisbitt. Naisbitt tries to hang it round the outside, low grip round there, and it's close to contact. And they're so close, and Naisbitt's got the inside line into turn 4. That looks like contact, but maybe it's a bit of lag. Again, some latency issues. Ivanov's shown has been further down the grid. I think that's just the driver tracker having a moment trying to keep up with what's going on. Because I have lost track as well, as these guys seem to have gotten through. Iliev, it must have been Iliev, Alex, Cooters, I think, back there. Big damage on the front of that Ferrari. Let's come back up to the front of the pack. And it looks like it'll be a similar order. Lang, Naisbitt, Ivanov, Swarovski in 5th, Mullenk 6th, Grayson 7th, Prentice in 8th, De Vita in 9th, under pressure from Jay Prentice. Mullenk looks like they've got past Grace. Grace having issues coming out of the elbow again. That looks a bit... What is going on there? Under pressure, car 12 is yellow flagging the wall. That's Cooters back in the pit lane again. And to come back onto De Vita, Prentice pulls out. And there's contact, a big crash from Prentice and De Vita. Oh dear. De Vita does try to rejoin in behind Rogers. Prentice is going to do some grass cutting at the back, will be much further back. That was a huge accident. Swarovski's went back to the pit lane as well. Car 6, 7, 8. That is Prentice. Yeah, had an absolute nightmare there, but Lang is out in front again. Naisbitt up into P2. Ivanov only half a second behind this time around. Mullenk has got kept himself in front of Grace, who's under pressure once again from L. Prentice. And what a chaotic start to race 2 of Super Sprint Sunday. And I'm going to have to take 10 seconds just to catch my breath with the chaos that's just unfolded in front of our eyes. Looks like, yeah, the timing screen's just updated himself. Timing screen had a little bit of a moment, shall we say, making it very difficult to follow what had happened on lap 1. I did my best to keep everyone informed, but it looks like we've had Alex Swarovski, who's had a fantastic start, Iliev and Cooters all involved in a massive accident. Prentice as well had an issue. But as things now begin to settle into a little bit of a rhythm, and we're watching Volton applying the pressure to Jay Wazzer in P8. Deep breaths, everyone, deep breaths. Right, so everything kind of looks sensible now. This is the closest battle on track. Mornvig, oh, bouncing over the curb. Trotman and De Vita with a lot of damage on the front of that Ferrari. Almost goes into the back of Mornvig, gets it slowed down, but he's lost a position to Mr. Gedman, who again, as we can see there on the front of the car, just demonstrating what they think of the car in front. Going well though, into P17 now after that incident at the start of race 1 and not taking the start and being 2 laps down. Running well now though. So again, look at the pace being shown up front here. Lang is now 2 seconds ahead. And we are on lap 3. Naisbitt doing everything he can. Set the fastest lap of the race so far to try and reel him in. That looks like lapped traffic already. That'll be one of the cars involved in the accident. That I think is Alex running in front there. Car 111. We'll see if he moves out of the way. He does. He gets out of the way and on the grass. Looks like Wazzer putting the BMW under pressure as well. Nothing doing this time around. The field now beginning to spread out. Now we've still got cars in the pits, not yet rejoined. We don't know if that's due to damage or just an unwillingness to take part. Yellow flags out there at the back of the field again. Got a car off. That is Townsend. Townsend off there as well. I think they were battling with sort of Stoyanov and Mullins. Mullins has been taken out. What's happened there? 2 in 2 races. Likely in the wall, potentially, maybe even driver error. The gap up front now, still 2.6 has been held, and Grace has got in front of Ivanov. What's happened there? No, I've lost track of it. That's the lapped car, the pink Ferrari in front. That's what's causing the confusion. So anyway, okay. I'm back, and this has been so hard to keep track of, but we were watching the trio of Miluka, Wazzer and Volton, and just in front is Prentice. This is the battle for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th place. As they come through Skyline, look at the view. Oh, that's a yellow. Volton's in the wall into Shannon's. Volton's into the Shannon's barrier and really struggling now as Dalbiel goes through. Rogers a further couple of seconds behind. We'll see if Volton has recovered control of the car by the time Rogers catches up. Miluka still under pressure from Wazzer. And he's went wide. The pressure has shown. And that is a position lost to Jay Wazzer, who is on an absolute flyer in that black and green Ferrari. Paul Trotman is now all over the back as well, off Den Brave. That's a car in the pit lane. Who was that? That's the yellow. That's the same livery. That's the confusing thing there. Then Brave and Volton carrying the same car. Daza letting us know in the chat there. That's Townsend. He binned it himself, it looks like. So that is him, I think, out of the race. We've got a car leaving the pit lane. That's Safarowski. That's good to see. Glad to see that happening. Iliev is one of them involved in the big accident at the start. But these two are battering closely. That's them, Brave and Trotman. Oh, no, Daza is indeed intending to rejoin the race. That's good to see. As we watch Trotman scrape the inside of the apex, hugging it so close, like his favourite stuffed animal. I think that may have caused him a little bit of damage, hopefully not too much. So Lang is now out there on his own, 4 seconds ahead of Naisbitt. Ivanov has kept it within the white lines this time and only a second and a half behind. Grace a further 3 behind. What's happened there? Is that again the pink car? No, we've got a car in the middle there. That's the lapped car, I think. Grace, and we've got Mullins there as well in the middle. We look at who we just seen run wide. This appears to be the closest battle we have on track just now. We've got them Brave applying the pressure, and too much pressure to Rogers, taking Rogers out from behind. That's a bit naughty. That was a bit naughty, and we may be going to see the stewards after this race. That may be a time penalty or 2 applied. Hard to defend that one, I'm afraid. So we've got a lot of cars now still to come through. The field has separated a bit. Track temperature still 20 degrees. We've only had 11 minutes of racing, and there's been so much happened already. Drivers a bit more keen to get their elbows out this time around. But Paul Trotman's had a fantastic start to this one. Who else did we see? Rogers recovering from that incident. Looks like them Brave still a couple of corners up the road, so not giving the position back either. Car 32 in the wall. That's Jay Waters had an incident at Skyline, and that's a heavily damaged Ferrari. Jay Waters was running so well, and now that Stephen column looks broken. He might be better off teleporting back to the pit lane, which he has now done. It will take longer to fix, but he's not going to cause anyone else damage, and he's not going to make his damage any worse by doing that. That was probably the right call. Rogers now under pressure from Jay Prentice. Obviously a bit of damage there. We'll see if he dives into the pits this time around as Lang goes on to start his 7th lap. And he is 6 seconds ahead of Naisbitt, with Ivanov a further 4 behind. That's the top 3. We see the timer on the left side, the driver tracker, just updating as they cross the start-finish line. Rogers under pressure from Prentice. Does not pit, so he's going to elect to continue on with that damage. You can see it's causing them time, and the handling, the drivability of that car will be hampered. Prentice has got to fancy his chances now with the slipstream. Not taking the slipstream this time around. Doesn't think it's happening this time. But Roger Sauce is going to be hampered through the mountain section. Love this camera shot there. through the cutting. As Rogers very wide, and look at the difference there. See, this is what I'm talking about. And they're side by side through the mountain. And Rogers makes a move round. No, sorry, Prentice round Rogers round the outside. Fantastic stuff. Brave. And you have to think Rogers might be in a position where pitting could be advantageous. So Rogers in the pits and Volton's also shown us in the pits. Alex may make up. This is the advantage of just getting back out there, because you do start to make the positions back up as others fall away, any mistakes they may make. Townsend's back on track as well. That's great to see, mate. Well done. Mullins as well has made their way back onto the track. And I'm going to take some time to go and view what is going on up the sharp end of the grid now, as things have begun to settle. So Dybwell in the K-Pax Racing Lamborghini chasing down the 979 BMW in front, and they've got a car there, looks a lap car maybe. I think that is Mullins in front of El Prentice. And this always happens here at Mount Panorama. It throws up such amazing racing. There's always an incident or two to be had around here. It's a very tricky track. We've got two stupidly fast straights and a very tight, twisty mountain section, as we're watching the 69 Lamborghini battle its way through just now. Now, if we come on board, you see just how busy it is. Like, look at the bravery that you need to get the car around there into Skyline as well. The car just goes so light as the track falls away from you. Left, right, and through left, through Shannon's, and this is a tricky corner. Some brake, some left, and they've got the pink Ferrari in the wall, into the Bentley wall. And that's a damaged car that's now back in the pit lane. Heavy damage in the 111 Ferrari there. That is P. Alex. I don't think the Lamborghini's got enough this time around. Nothing yet. We've got a slow car there. That is Ivanov. Ivanov off again at the chase. What is going on to his race? It's just fallen away gradually as it's went on. He's now down in P7. This was... And we've missed Dalbrell getting in front of. We look at as well. Probably distracted by the car in front. And we've still got 20 minutes to go. This is not over. Not by a long shot. Naisbitt is keeping Lang somewhat in touch. We'll see if Miluka can keep in contact with Dybwell, but I think Dybwell has just got so much more. It's a much more nimble car, that Lamborghini. It just changes through this section anyway. And again, nimble can mean oversteer, which is in the back of the car. Just cannot live with the forces being asked off by the driver, and the back end steps out. We'll see if that raw power of that BMW M engine can reel in the back of the K-Pax racing car. Down the long back straight. This is the back straight I was talking about. It's so quick. It makes you want to take downforce off the car that you need for the mountainous section. Nothing really going on in there, so let's have a little look. If back on board of Den Brave on the back of Van der Waal. This is another close battle we have going on so far. Let's come on board with Den Brave, see how they tackle the mighty Mount Panorama circuit. Turn 1 gets the car turned in nicely, uses the curb on exit just to stabilise the car, stop it running all the way out wide. Up through the gears here. And you brake just at the service road, yep. Gets it turned in and uses the camera off that corner. It kind of sucks you in to the inside, gives you a big cuddle. Down the gears, through the Audi, cutting. And this is the start of the mountain section. If you get all these right, you almost flat out. There's no brakes from turn 4 all the way to Skyline. He's very wide, misses the apex. Does very well to keep it out of the wall. And can you believe we're only now at the halfway point of race 2? And this is Skyline. Look at the view. We can look at the view watching. The drivers will have no time to admire that, as they are very busy in the cockpit. And to the Bentley Forest elbow, and that's in the wall. Van der Waal has nudged the wall, pun not intended, and that potentially cost him a position. That's P9 gone. Hopefully it's not too much damage on the front of that car. And it looks like he's still able to live with Den Brave. So one person I do want to just point out just now, actually I'm going to stay with this lot because they're now only 0.2 apart. On board that McLaren now. He brakes so late into that corner and rides that curb at the back end. For both of these cars is all over the place. A bit longer on the grass for the Ferrari. We'll see if that has any impact by the time they get to the top of the hill. You can just feel that McLaren edging closer and closer, but it's not enough by the time they get to turn 2. Turn 3 is not an overtaking spot. And nothing doing this time around. They've got a slow moving car again down at the chase. That's car number 21. That's De Vita is into the pit lane now. What's happened there? It looks like De Vita. We've got a couple of the cars going through. That looks like Stoyanov. Rogers still under pressure now. Who's that behind him? That's a lapped car, I think, trying to get their way through. Van der Waal now dropped off a little bit from the back of that Ferrari too. And I've now got some time where I can get my breath back. Mornvegs came back, so a big shout out to these guys here. Mullings, I think it's more actually Townsend. De Vita's now in the pit, so Townsend, Wazzer, Iliev, Mullings. Alex needs to get back out there. Who's that yellow Ferrari with Volton? Hopefully these guys get back out, because when you're back out on track, Mornveg runs a little bit wide there on the entrance into Skyline. When you're back on the track and you finish the race, you will still get championship points. And you will get driver rating, which is how Formula Racing League groups their drivers into their respective tiers. And you lose a lot of your driver rating if you do not finish the race, and you will not receive your championship points. So big shout out to these guys who are putting in the effort and getting back out there to keep the field nice and stacked. Well done, guys. So out in front, Adam Lang in the 511 Aston Martin has just been in a class of his own so far, even with the lag issues that they appear to be having so far. Still able to get that car round, and a gap to Dan Naisbitt, which will just get updated in a couple of seconds now. 10-second gap. So 10-second gap after 25 minutes of racing. That's a dominant performance. And Grace 8 seconds further behind. But bad news for them. Prentice, who picked them off in race 1, is only a couple of seconds back. So Prentice will be keeping that chase on. Miluka and Dalibert have been side by side for all of this race. It really has been good stuff to see from them. Van der Waal as well, just keeping in touch. Only a second behind as we see Den Brave on the grass. That'll close that gap. Maybe open the door a little bit more for Van der Waal. You see the gaps now visibly closer. Look at the difference. That Ferrari is carrying a lot of damage on the front, but it's now only 0.7 of a second. And that there is Gedman, I think, being lapped, it looks like, actually. It is, that's fine. It's Gedman being lapped just now. We'll come back to that in a second. I don't think Van der Waal's got the pace to go with Den Brave just now. A good drive actually from Dalbrell, who's done a great job getting up into 5th place in that K-Pax racing car. And I think Miluka is going to be following them through to the very end, maybe just biding his time. And these two are close again as Van der Waal gets very close to Shannon's. They both hug that apex very nicely. So watch on the helicam. And if you're still with us, just want to say a big thank you to all of us, you guys watching Formula Racing League who stuck with us. As you've seen, it's been quite an eventful race. I do expect the rest of the season to go very similar, to be very similar to this. We've got very close again from these two, and that is Miluka back now in front. And Ivanov being pulled along with them as well. What's happened there? We've got yellow flags out. We keep jumping back and forward and missing what's going on. That's a yellow flag out there at the back. As we now watch Dalbrell trying their best to get back in front of that BMW. Yeah, so for the 7 of you guys still with us, thank you very much for watching. It's been great to have you with us. We'll hopefully have you back a lot more often for the rest of this season. So I'm just going to stick with this for a little while longer, because it's been a great battle within these two, back and forth, exchanging positions as the oversteer coming out off Forest Elbow, and that's allowed Dalbrell back up into P5. As we've seen, it is not a done deal. This one is far from over. One driver I do want to give a shout out to is Rogers, who had some damage earlier on in the race. Is this potentially coming to get lapped now? Because that's not Gedman in behind, that's someone else. That I think is Trotman in the 246 car. It's not, it's Jay Wazzer, sorry, Jay Wazzer. Where is Jay Wazzer? He's further down. Jay Wazzer unlapping himself. Rogers running a damaged car just now. And doing a great job dragging that through to the end of the race. Might see this drive come good later on in the season. So one person I do want to give a shout out to is Chris Gedman. Currently running up in 12th. Didn't really get a chance to start race 1, was near the back of race 2. And driving superbly, now up into 12th place. Remember, all these championship points will count towards the end of the season at the business end. So we'll see where drives like this, when you have a bad day and you're just able to drag it through to the end of the race, pick up your points. Those are the drives that make a difference at the end of the season, and German's doing a great job of that today. Just need to point out that he is, of course, demonstrating. Most people have their initials on the front of the car. That's contact! Big crash from Gedman. And he's now reversed into the wall. Good job. Potentially a trip back to the pit lane. What is he doing? Oh dear. You do have a bit of a gap there, but be careful. Car 41 is coming. I feel bad for saying this now, because I was hoping to poke a little fun. But if you look at the front of his screen, instead of having his initials, he had his nickname on the front of. There it is there. But now I feel bad because he's just been involved in an incident, as he's got a purple Ferrari of Mullinks approaching behind now, who again has rejoined. Gedman's going to let him pass very well. Good to see. And anyway, let's jump back onto the proper racing now, where I don't take the fun out of the PS5 head admin. So Van der Wal is a couple of tenths behind Den Brave. So that's a close battle we've got going on. Dalbrell, again, if anyone wants to join in and help me out with some pronunciation, that would be fantastic. We can see these two are glued to each other as well. It's almost like they have a tow rope between them and they can't seem to shake each other off. German across the grass there as well, into that wall for good measure. Desperately trying to find the pit lane. That grass is not going to get any shorter. Yep, and that grass as well. Everyone ignores that chicane in the pit lane, and he gets it slowed down. So German now into the pit lane after the accident. We'll see what happens at the end of that one. It didn't look too nice to have an accident up at that part of the circuit. Let's come on board here. Look at the length of this straight. It must be such a pleasing sight just to have that in front of you, as you blast through the gears and that BMW engine roars out through the bonnet. Just clip that curb and the brake markers are all gone as well. So that is another challenge these guys will be facing in the final 7 minutes of round 1 of Formula Racing League's 11th season. And we're going to be bringing this to you every Sunday night for this week and the next 8 weeks as well. see Van der Waal as well. Still keeping the pressure on, not letting them brave pull away. So let's stick with this, because look at the gap now closed. That Ferrari is struggling out there to come on board with Iliev. Look at the Ferrari, the back end is all over the place. Not Iliev, sorry, on board with Van der Waal. Watching the back of the Ferrari, the 34 Ferrari. You see just how difficult this section really is. It's constantly twisty, there's no break for these pilots. And then they come past the Shannon's wall, and this right-hander has caught so many out today. As the tyres wear, the car just wants to keep going right into the Bentley wall, which Van der Waal nearly does, but keeps it out this time around. And it's not been enough, I don't think, on this lap to pull in the back of that yellow Ferrari. These two will need to be careful, because Jay Prentice, currently in 10th, has slowly been reeling them back in. Gedman's back out on track now as well, just in front. I say just in front. 38 seconds in front of Townsend, 6 seconds behind De Vita. Nothing doing this time around, but again, you just see in the background Jay Prentice. Look at, oh, what's happened there? Did he hit the wall? He definitely was a lot slower than normal coming through the exit of turn 2. And the Ferrari's in the wall now as well. This race is action all through it, keeping us interested on our toes. So it looks like maybe one driver had a bit of an incident and the other one had one in sympathy, but again, that's just bringing Prentice into the fold for potentially, instead of being 10th, up into 8th. And look at the difference now, so close to each other through Skyline. Prentice now involved in the back of this, and this is for position. I hope they realise that. And they both get close. Prentice a little bit further out from the apex, but oh, what's he? Van der Waal over the grass again. This is the battle for P8, and Prentice now thinking about a move to come down this long back straight. The speed of that McLaren is something else. The Lamborghini just closing to the back, down the inside, gets on the brakes hard, gets it slowed down in time. And that's a successful move from Jay Prentice up into P9 on Van der Waal. So it's 2 minutes to go. Move still happening throughout the field. And we look at now only half a second behind 2. As well, Lang's now got some traffic to get through. Doesn't seem to be holding him up at all. I mean, look at 5 tenths behind, still just lost a little bit there going through the straight line section. So it looks like that Lamborghini has the straight line edge. But not round the mountain section. But this is the battle now for 8th. Dem Brave holding on to that Ferrari. It looks like it's been through a game of Wreckfest, not Assetto Corsa. And that is allowing Prentice to charge up to the back. Look at the difference in confidence that green machine has as the leader starts the final lap. But we're watching these guys come through Skyline as Prentice thinks twice about making a move through this twisty section. But he's all over the tailpipe off that yellow Ferrari. And keeps it tight through the Bentley, the Forest elbow. And again, thank you all for watching. If you're stuck with us for the whole lot, we've got 35 seconds before the checkered flag comes out. But we are watching Dem Brave defend valiantly from Prentice. Prentice all over the back. Does he keep the inside line? He takes the middle off the track. Makes President Prentice hesitate. We've got the 44 of Ivanov off track again at turn 4. Yellow flag, slow moving car. As we're stuck with these two, and does he think about down the inside into the final turn? Not this time around. He's going to keep it for one more lap, showing great restraint, great composure from Prentice. We're going to stick with this one, I think. Dalbrell still in front of Maluka. We've got a car there in the wall for a purple Ferrari into the wall. Is that Grace? Grace hits the wall as well. Oversteer on the exit of turn 3. You'll need to try and nurse this one home. Prentice still all over the back off this Ferrari. Is he going to make it past him towards the end? And again, I feel for Lang, who's had no screen time out in front. We've got a yellow flag out in front. What's happened there? Grace is in the wall. Grace has given up a position. This is now the battle for 7th. I'm going to rejoin in a second, but as we watch Lang take the checkered flag for race 2, double win for Adam Lang, taking race 1 and race 2. Great dominant performance. But we're going to come back onto this battle here, where we are watching Prentice really apply the pressure. Can he find a way past? Can he engineer a move as Dan Naisbitt takes P2 across the line now? But Prentice closing in on the car in front. We're on board now with Prentice into the chase for the final time. Look how close he's getting down. Thinks about down the inside, and it's so close. What's happened? It's so close, but he's pulled out of it. Avoids the accident and makes sure there's no contact this time around. And that's going to be the end of the race. Dem Brave is going to take P7 as he gets round the final corner. Prentice is going to come home in 8th. Van der Waal all over the curb at the end. Crosses the line, pulls over, and Rogers, who has battled through the wars today, will finish in 10th. Top 10 finish for them. Grace is going to show us 11th, but not taking the checkered flag. Stoyanov in 12th. De Vita still coming round the final couple of corners now. We'll take that position. Mollinks will be the next one across the line. I think we have Gedman just in behind, with Iliev as well, not fighting for position. Monveg loses the rear there. Mollinks goes through at the last second. Interesting choice, and Safrowski comes through in 21st. Volton shown as a did not finish, as is Grace. Wow, what an absolute war zone of a race we have seen. And I believe we are now joined again by our featured driver today, Daniel Naisbitt, who comes through with a double second place. And you've got to be pleased with that, no?
Yeah, we'll take that. I think best of the rest. We was getting nowhere near Lang. The man's in a class of his own.
Yeah, it's just like watching Formula One this season, if I'm honest.
Ridiculous.
Nobody can live with that pace. You gave it a good chance, from what I could see anyway. You kept up with this pace, I think, the first couple of laps, and then I think he just kept going. I think he maybe was holding back a little bit with the tyres.
Yeah, I think so. I think he will put this with the first race. He was 17 seconds ahead inside 10 laps. So I think he was just cruising the second race. But best of the rest, we'll take that. Especially when it killed so many people, I think.
Yeah, the track definitely killed a lot of people. You'll have a good fun watching that one back.
It's a bit of a baptism of fire for our new lads, isn't it?
Yeah, so I was a little bit unsure who the new lads were.
Ah, okay.
Do you know
So
who
the
they
new
were?
ones I've never seen tonight are Stoyanov, Iliev, Ivanov, and who
Yep.
else? Safarowski. Yeah, I think that's it. There's probably 4 or 5 new guys tonight.
Yep, okay. I've lost them now, I don't know where they were. Ivanov, I think Ivanov was really quick.
Yeah, Ivanov
Just-
qualified P2.
Yeah, he had an interesting race. That'd be fun to watch
I think
back.
he had an interesting race in the first one, I think, as well.
Yeah, it went well. I think he made a move on yourself actually into the chase. And it just deteriorated
Yeah, that was race
corner
1.
after corner.
Yes. And then race 2, I think, me and him went side by side at the corner 2, I think.
Yes,
Which was a
he
bit
did.
sketch.
Yeah. it was close. How were your tyres after that?
Do you know what? It wasn't too bad. Like, if you're looking, I was looking at my timetable, I just see laps. And did best lap on lap 10. And it was only 0.9 slower on the last lap.
Oh, right, okay. So
So
they held on well.
Yeah, not too bad. In terms of like the percentage, I think it was like 2.5 at the rears and 2.6 at the front.
Oh yeah, they held on fine.
So not bad actually for 40 minutes, but it's not overly hot. Should be similar-ish temps for Taco as well, I think.
You might be able to shed some light on what happened to Mullins in race 1.
Yeah, he smashed at the back end of me into Forest Elbow
Oh dear.
with his nice Ferrari brakes. My tin spoon McLaren brakes have to go so much earlier, and he obviously brakes a bit later, and he T-boned me and then the wall, unfortunately.
All we seen was the wall part on the stream. We were following something else just behind you.
I think he touched me into the Forest Elbow and then obviously went sideways into the wall.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, end result probably suits you a bit better then, so don't have to worry too much about that one.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Next up, we have Laguna Seca. How do you feel about that one?
Don't mind Laguna. Prefer it to Bathurst, I think, in terms of survivability anyway. But I've not used the McLaren round there yet, so we'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, given the geographical location, it's likely to be dry, which is another thing, but temperature may be something, and a new factor for you guys to deal with.
It's quite a bit hotter, isn't it? I'll tell you what though, that McLaren over the top of the mountain is like easy mode compared to the Lamborghini. Yeah,
you look confident.
You can pretty much go flat from the cutting right to Skyline.
Yeah, it looked like on board with you in qualifying. It looked a confident, busy lap. Busy, but confident.
It was nice.
Good stuff. Well, thanks again for joining us. Appreciate that.
Not a problem at all. My pleasure.
Yep, and we'll see you next week at Laguna Seca.
Absolutely, matey. Thank you very much, buddy.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye now.
Bye. And if you've stuck with us for the entirety of this stream, we do appreciate you doing so. I'll just quickly recap again. If you do want to take part starting, this week, you can take part on Tuesday or maybe Thursday night or you want to take part in Super Sprint Sunday next week, all you have to do is go to thesimgrid.com and follow Formula Racing League for all the details on how to join. And we will be live again for round 2 at Laguna Seca next week, 7:45 p.m. UK time. And we'll see you then. My name is Gordon, the Captain Brown, and we'll see you then. Take care. Good night.